Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here from Safi Financial Network. Today is January 10, 2025. Here is another weekly wrap, weekly analysis. And the market just had a tough week um, and going down all the way to 58.36. Just closed at 58.22, just a touch below SMA 20 on a weekly basis, which is bearish. So we are kind of like looking for option two for my cycle analysis. If you haven't watched my cycle analysis, let me just share my screen and show you exactly what do I mean by cycle analysis. So in the forecast that they had for 2025, there were two options that I provided. If you haven't watched that video, make sure to watch that video because there are lots of educational materials covered. So this is a cycle two or second scenario that don't worry about these numbers because they can change, and I don't have like a crystal ball to exactly mention the numbers. But the importance is we have a glimpse of the market, and it seems like market is following the second scenario, which is more ugly one, and we may see some kind of like a downtick going all the way down to March, and then March, April, we will see some kind of like a bounce, and then after that we may see some kind of like again sell off all the way to June, July, August. We should see the bottoming formation somewhere around here. So right now we are at months of January, so it seems like January is working well. We're just going down. We may see some kind of like again pullback down the road, but January, February usually is not going to be a good months for the market if market wants to continue something like this. So we should just be careful and pay attention to the market right now. We are in a corrective move, and 2025 could be a very kind of like a choppy, volatile year for the market, and it's going to be tough year for investors, for those ones who are just having like a buy and hold a strategy. All right, so let's get back to S&P 500 weekly chart. And this is a weekly chart that we just got SMA 20 engulfed to the downside. The next target I would say is going to be this area, which is going to be 5,500 to 5,600. Lots of supports and also demand is coming. So here is the flip-flop to the upside at September timeframe. We obviously is a challenging a November pivot, which is election pivot here soon. Potentially next 2 weeks we will get there, and potentially we may see support, especially when we are getting to this 55 to 5,600. We may see some kind of like a support, a reversal getting back to the upside. However, this is kind of like the trend line. 53, 54 is going to be a trend line. And I would say we're going to get back to this trend line soon. I mean, soon, like in next 6 months, potentially. But for now, I would say the stochastic momentum is signaling the bear reversal to the downside confirming. So I'm just looking for this one is coming down and form a bull reversal. If it comes to this area, which is going to be great buying opportunity as we were looking for that one. And this trend line is kind of like a perfect scenario. And also IMI is coming down. And if IMI goes back down to oversold condition, this is exactly happening last time in October 2023. And look what happened after that. 2024 was a phenomenal year to the upside. I'm not expecting this is going to happen again, but I would say this is going to be a very nice scenario for at least the short-term or intermediate bottom for the market, which can give us a better opportunity for long position. All right. Moving on to the daily chart. So daily chart is telling me that we are forming this head and shoulder to the downside. Today was kind of like an ugly day, getting back to the downside. When we are just touching this level without managing higher highs, this is kind of like a high. Actually, this is lower high, and this is lower high, and here is another lower high here. So we just form a consolidation, getting back to the downside. Any bounce could be a sell. I would say, at least for the short term, we can get to 5,700 coming along to this trend line here. And also this is an election pivot as well here. So there are lots of support coming around this area. So we'll see how it goes with the market. Stochastic momentum on a daily chart is again getting back to the oversold condition. soon. And this week, if you remember last week, I was saying we may see some kind of like a bounce, but I'm gonna sell the bounce. And that's what I did. Like with subscribers, we just sold, actually scale it down some positions, and working on our cash to just have like a cash allocated on the side, make sure ready for the next buying opportunity. The buying opportunity is not there yet. It's pretty early if you want to jump on board with that one. Moving on to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq weekly chart actually tells me the same thing here. We got a bear reversal with a stochastic momentum. MACD is getting back to the sell signal. We just got a price action confirmation. And since top, we can't manage, even we don't have consolidation. So potentially, we may see 19,500 to 20,000. That's the area that I'm looking at, which is coming to our indicator, which is 43 SMA on a weekly basis. And that is very, very important as well for myself. If a stochastic getting back to the uh, oversold condition on a bull reversal, we may see some kind of like a reversal to the upside. So that would be kind of like the scenario that I'm looking at. All right. Moving on to daily chart. Here's the daily chart. We just got sell signal again. So this pattern is not bearish at all. So we are just below this bearish wedge. And ultimately, I'm looking for this area. So this is the area that I'm looking at for potential bottoming for the Nasdaq, and still looking for that one, which is 19,800 to 19,100. This is coming along with my weekly pivot, and that would be the perfect scenario because we are getting back to this trend line here as well. So this could be a nice bottoming formation for the Nasdaq. Moving on to US 30, which is Dow on a weekly basis. This is exactly the same thing coming along with the other ones. However, Dow potentially form a bottom sooner than the other names. So if we see some kind of like that, we're going to just say Dow is coming to the buy signal early, and that's going to be the market bottom. So Dow can get back down to 40,000 to 40,500. And while a stochastic is getting back to uh, a bull reversal, which just the fast line is getting to the oversold condition, but a slow line actually is not there yet. And the last part, when we got this signal, was pretty kind of like interesting just because we were in a bull market. Every oversold condition would be a buy. Right now, I'm not sure if we are in a bull market, something like 2023, 2024. Lots of people are praying for that, but I'm not sure. However, we can get some kind of like a buying signal, tradable signal, I should say, somewhere around 40,000 area. So if we get to that level, that would be a fantastic scenario. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to a daily chart. So here's the daily chart. We just got into uh, a sell zone here and getting back to the downside, bearish consolidation, getting to this pivot. And right now we are just getting to the 41,900, 900, yes. And that is not a bad scenario, especially for Dow, just because we can work on it and then getting back to the downside, 40,000 area here. So that September bottom could be the scenario for a nice rally to the upside. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on, let me just before getting back to the downside, here's the divergences forming with Dow. And this tells me that Dow potentially is getting to some kind of like a bottoming formation sooner than the other one. And based on the weekly chart, I would say Dow can help us for the bottom of the market, at least for the intermediate term. Potentially in February time or early February, we can see the bottom. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to gold. So gold just hiking up these days recently and tackling this getting ready to tackle this 2717, which is a substantial top here for gold, at least for for last year, I should say last 3 months, 4 months, we got into this area. A couple tackles actually didn't manage to new all-time high or even double top here. We just get here, get back down. So let's see if we can get above this. Still looking for this corrective move to the downside for a final low. But there is going to be a scenario, folks, that I was saying that there is going to be a scenario if gold is getting back to the upside, it needs to get above 27.17, especially on a weekly basis. If we get above this, we're going to head to new all-time high, and the target is going to be 32 to 3300. So both bearish, short-term bearish, and then getting back to the long side, or potentially this is the bottom and getting back to the upside. That would be kind of like scenario for gold heading to new all-time high. And this tells me that I know the job market for NFP was pretty strong today, but at the same time, when everyone disappointing with the rate cut is coming sooner than everyone is expecting. So we'll see how it goes. I would say middle of this year, potentially, we are going to see another fast pace rate cut from Federal Reserve, which concern about the recession. Right now, everyone is saying recession um, is out of table, and everyone is talking about the inflation. But I would say inflation is coming back with tariffs, with Trump's tariffs, but recession is coming after that because inflation caused recession afterwards. Moving on to silver, which forming up another bullish candle today. But these candles are not strong, folks. So look at the sellers here. Sellers are, and even buyers actually are hesitating about this candle. I know here's the W pattern, but look at this exhaustive rally to the upside. Sellers just sell here. Who is selling here? People are just expecting potentially the next drop is coming for a final low. I'm not selling. I'm just cautiously buying silver if it gets more deeper corrective move to 26 to 27, even $28 per ounce. That would be great scenario. Moving on to crude. Crude just sharply moved to our crossover. And look what happened here. This is phenomenal. This is fantastically worked here. So we just got this trend here, this trend here, this trend line touched here a couple times, and here is the 77. So magical number works here, and the trend line just uh, didn't allow this one is getting back above 77. Right now, crude has done a fantastic move. This is a bottom, this is a higher low, bullish consolidation last few days, and then spiking up to the upside. So there are some geopolitical tensions again coming back in Middle East area. Iran is threatening Israel, and that's why crude is just getting back to the upside. But I would say these tensions are gonna just be more and more in 2025, especially mid-year. So crude, I would say, forming the bottom, we should see some kind of like a corrective move. But that correction, if it just get back to 72, 73, and then getting back to the upside, that means we are at the beginning of the new era for crude, for a bigger kind of like a move to the upside, which bring inflation back on the table. And this happens with copper as well. So if you just look at the copper chart, I just provide analysis as well. So copper is just forming a nicely engulfing candle on a weekly basis. So SMA 20 and 50 engulfed, and just the trend line is the last trench for bulls. If it gets above 430, which I believe it's coming, then copper, crude, metals, everything is getting back to the upside, and that would be inflationary for lots of industries. All right, moving on to individual names, starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin today, totally on the contrary with the market, just getting back to the upside, and just technically reacted to this 90 to 92,000. So if we get a super sharp decline next week or so, I would say shouldn't be surprised at all. I would say next few months for Bitcoin is going to be volatile. I'm not going to say it's going to be ugly. Potentially, it could be ugly, but it's going to be a buying opportunity. So I'm just, I can't wait to see that. So waiting for that one. Ethereum is the same. We just got a dead cat bounce here today, but sellers again took control last hour trading session, going down to 32.66. Bond yield is spiking up nicely today after job report was strong. So everyone is betting no rate cut in January, potentially February, March, and then we will just hiking up nicely with the bond yield to have a strong dollar. And that put pressure actually on Treasury. We will get that one, but bond yield can go to this area at least for a next few weeks. Treasury just getting back to the downside, put pressure on the bond yield. We may see some kind of like a double bottom formation here, 82 to 85, and we will see how it goes. VIX just the uptick today, 8% to the upside. Dixie F of 47 cents up. Again, Dixie is getting stronger and stronger. This is surprising to me, folks. I don't trade Dixie, but this is a good indicator for me. When dollar is up, gold is up, something is wrong. Uh, Potentially, market is not in a good shape. That people are just deploying money into safe havens like a dollar and gold. Magma indicator, $11 down today. Apple just forming a very nice shadow here right at the support here. So this is a short-term support. We may see a bounce, folks, but this is going to be a bounce to 244 to 48. There are lots of resistance here, this area within this wide range bar. And we may see some kind of like a bounce. If it gets back down, that would be a sell. I would say this is coming by the market to capitulate more to the downside. Amazon just forming a bullish consolidation. Don't get me wrong. This pattern is pretty bullish. The entire market is not in a good shape. Otherwise, I would buy. But I would say we may see some kind of like a deeper corrective move for just disappoint the bulls before the next rally. Still, this trend line is valid. Moving on to Meta, just the optic today. That was actually higher early session, 620, 621. Wow, that's great. In this environment, Meta managed positive. Microsoft is getting back to the downside again. So $5.61 down. Google, $1.91 down. Netflix, $37.31 down. And Tesla, 20 cents down today. But better price action compared to the other one with Meta. Netflix is slaughtering to the downside. And I would say this is going to be free fall all the way to this gap, potentially, or even this consolidation. We will see where it finds the bottom. Moving on to semiconductor index, still SMH is consolidating within this range, 263 to 233. So this $30 is a range like a ping pong box here. SOX, the same pattern almost, just a slower pace. 218, just a close today. Taiwan Semiconductor managed positive with a not bad price action. We may see some kind of like a rally again with Taiwan. AMD just a slaughter today. 3 days in a row, it's just going down. Potentially the capitulation to 90 to 97. Is this the area that we should just look for bottom for AMD? Well, we'll see. And that's going to be very interesting level. NVIDIA, $4.20 down. We sold NVIDIA here. And right now, NVIDIA just going all the way down. I was tempting to buy yesterday. I'm happy I didn't. I'm just waiting for here. Potentially with AMD bottom, NVIDIA is going to bottom here as well. Texas Instrument, $1.51 down here. Lam Research, $2.39 down. Lam can go down to $70. XLF, $1.17 down. And getting back to the downside, this is a bearish pattern. We were due for a corrective move, deeper correction to here, which is $49, $46. KBE, just going down, breaking through. There are lots of support here, but I would say 47 to 48, that's the area. And KRE, the same pattern here, $1.78 down. JP Morgan, $3.26 down. This one can go all the way down to 216 to 220. Goldman Sachs, just to get back down to this trend line, I would say this is bearish rather than bullish. And you see that whenever we touch this, we manage higher high, right? So this time we didn't manage the higher high, lower high. And this tells me that this is the high, this is the low, and potentially we are getting to lower low somewhere around here. So we will see how it goes with this Goldman. Bank of America, dollar wants 10 cents down, and the Wells Fargo is forming H pattern here. We may see another drop to 64, 63. Gold miners just gapped up today, getting back to the downside. And this tells me that potentially, when they are not participating in gold rally, I'm hesitating on gold rally. That's my strategy, folks. Gold miners supposed to be leader, not laggard. In this case, they're laggard, all right? So GDXJ, 3 cents down, AEM, 94 cents up, and gapped up, then sold off. Newmont, 3 cents down. Franco-Nevada, 32 cents down. So this tells me that potentially they're having a top here at this short-term top, and then we may see some kind of like a sell-off is coming with gold. Gold Barrick actually just formed a bearish consolidation. So this is bearish. This is not bullish. This is exactly like this. And we may see another drop potentially for a final low. And that would be perfect scenario if gold is getting back to the drop for a final low. Moving on to energy market. Just a 36 cents up for XLE. But look at that. So this tells me that potentially they're overdue for corrective move. XOP exactly the same, 130.42, and then get it back to the downside. OIH, the same pattern here. Exxon, 39 cents down. And Chevron, just a $2.84 up. A good lower shadow here, but I would say when the entire industry is weak and they're topped for a short term, we may see some kind of like a pullback, potentially 147 to 148. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys, this is a very comprehensive video. Hope you like this video. If you like it, please smash the like button. If someone is interested in this and they don't have any idea about this video, please share just with 1%. That's going to be a fantastic help, great help from you folks to us. Have a great weekend. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.